Alright, so the name of this video is gonna be old school people and the cons to being an intellect. Like I said, I've got so many paradigms I'm forming. I have a closed mind when it comes to the way people come off, just personally, and I'm pretty sure other people feel the same way. I had somebody tell me that they had a seizure because of my personality, and I'm like, well, I mean, it makes sense, but not really. I mean, that means you really just paying attention to people like that. But I'm like, it really didn't make sense because I'm like, I was growing up around women that were a certain way, and I'm like, my grandma was like, Craig kept you stern. I mean, I think that's different. That's what interacting with other humans is about. You learn your differences and your similarities, and you realize that that's the reason why wars start. I'm like, it be people that be like, I've never seen a person look like that before. I've never seen a person have this shape. I've never seen a black person. Or I've never seen a mixed breed, or I've never seen people be this big before, or I don't understand why this and why that. It's always some shit to ridicule, but I mean, you got to understand that people really haven't been exposed to a certain way of life or a certain way of thinking or a certain look, then it makes sense. I have schizophrenia because of, you know, negativity. I grew up in Atlanta, and I'm like, it makes no sense to me. I really thought I was nobody special, to be honest with you. And I'm like, I can tell that some of these people really doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody told me when I was a kid that I was black and I wasn't gonna be nothing, and that was my stereotype. That's just the honest God truth. And it just really don't make no sense to me because I have a grandma that goes around. It's really people that are being put on the pedestal for absolutely no reason, and it don't make sense to me that they go around telling people. I mean, this shit happened natural for me. It really don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that I be seeing women change their personalities for me. I'm like, but you got to get to know somebody. I'm like, I really feel like I'm being myself. I ain't talking about being gay or straight. I'm talking about being around people in general that are toxic for me. I don't know how I'm supposed to go out. I'm like, after a man had sex with me, I started stressing and I started just, looking at different people and becoming their personalities. That's how I look at it. When I was a kid, it was this lady named Ty. She used to be clapping her hands, and she used to be like, honestly, I've been around geeky people, but their conversations that ring in my head are insensible. This girl named Jasmine, Rich Homie Corn's sister, or a girlfriend, I don't know who they was, but they lived in my neighborhood, and they used to be like, say, little babe, babe. We used to do chants and, a lot of ghetto shit. You know what I'm saying? Ghetto people are toxic for me. Like when I be around people that aren't ghetto, it's very detoxing. Like speak art with articulation, don't use slang, don't, have words, have words, or, make words, say words halfway or whatever the case is. Those are the type of people that I view as a detox. So I've been around people like that, and I'm like, I've smoked cigarettes with people, and I'm like, I don't know if they be lying or not, but that's what your intellectual capacity is supposed to do. It's supposed to help you be intuitive. And I think when you're going to churches and they be prophesizing to you, I think that's what they mean by having an intuitive nature and hearing from God and all that stuff. You have to be knowledgeable about things. I have random people that I grew up around that seriously made a big deal out of everything I did, and I'm like, it makes no sense that they would do that. Hurry up and attack her paradigm. Hurry up and pull a gun out of her and make people think we have superiority over her. We go anywhere, we get a job because we can sit there and brag about the fact that we don't like this person. I didn't think that was part of an intellectual identity to go around and talk about people. All right, so if they're pessimistic people in society, how do you live? I don't know, man. I've been through a lot in my life. And anybody that really grow up and seem to feel disadvantaged has my deepest sympathy. I see kids come up to the cashier and they eyes all sunken in. I'm like, why they look like that? That's why when I was a kid, I really wanted to quit school, and I did eventually. But I'm like, look at all these people really rejecting us for coming from humble beginnings. I'm like, I'm really stuck in a situation where my mom is submitting to two men, and I'm into three men, and I'm like, one of them is actually flirting with me. I'm like, my cousin had sex with me. I'm like, they ruined my reputation. But I was being honest. I'm like, I really am a pessimist. I mean, there's got to be a better way. I mean, my grandma and grandpa, they don't know no better. Or papa, my grandma was like, uh, she would tell people that random in the neighborhood, please protect my grandbaby when I leave. That's the best she can do. People have faith. That's a sign of insecurity to these people. That's what we got to learn. You tell people to protect something that belongs to you, they're going to feel like you're insecure and they might as well own it themselves. That's why I got to deal with men that want to prove that, I don't like the fact that this man sitting there proving that using me to prove their manhood. I'm like, why is this man even bringing me up in conversation? I got a man that really be telling people, he be serious too. He be like, she's a narcissist and, I'm a man and I've got hoes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to speak with lingo around her and make people think that I'm ghetto. When I come over here, I act ghetto for these people. I'm really finessing these people. But in reality, I'm really an intellectual identity and I moved outside. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm from Atlanta. I grew up around ghetto people. Powder Springs was a detox for me. I did not grow up I didn't think that Howell Place was a bad place. It's right next to a library. All those women became pessimists because of men. It would be men was sitting there beating on them and shit. I developed a pessimistic mindset because of that. And then he'll go around and be like, well, I can tell people she's a man hater. Let me study people because I'm a man and I have a family. But your ass ain't a threat to society. I'm a woman that chose not to have children or anything at an early age. And I had people viewing me as a pessimist because that's how I felt. I do not respond to none of that dysfunction normally. I mean, I did respond to it in a normal fashion. These men really think they got kids and shit. They really think they're an exception from crime. You're not. It's just like Omar Epps said, you think the sun comes up and shines on your ass? It doesn't. But that's how a nigga be. Well, I'm a man, baby. I done fought my whole neighborhood and shit. You gotta respect it. My girl know for a fact I'm gonna protect her. I hate the fact that I take offense to manhood because it seems so easy. But that's what I guess the men want me to see. Well, I respect the whole butch mentality. Like, I know for a fact that my girl can shoot a gun just as well as I do. I don't have to belittle her or be chauvinistic. And then I had a nigga apologize. Like, I apologize for all these women that's rejected with you because of me. I grew up in Atlanta. I seen raw people. And I'm like, I don't understand why this nigga is getting respect from being from the A, because he ain't nothing like these raw people out here. Why is he alive? I'm like, see, the difference between this man, and me being a woman is that when you a man, it's expected of you to do this and do that and the third. I'm really, this nigga really just being a man going around helping people and it's not offensive for him. You're not experiencing chauvinism. You're not a woman to yourself. You're not experiencing doubt. Nobody's doubting you. Oh, but that's a woman. We don't give a fuck about her. You get to go around and tell people, well, if you see that lady, please give her some money because she might be because I would want somebody to do it for my daughter. But I'm almost certain I've got money. I protect my money and I will protect my daughter too. It really doesn't make sense to me that I was going through all that shit. And I'm from Atlanta, and I will not say that I can vouch that everybody from Atlanta. I really have a misconstrued idea of the whole what being a man is and the way that these niggas look and the way that these niggas act. It's just like being from the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? There are some people from the ghetto that are just nasty as fuck, and there's certain things they don't know to stay clean. You know what I mean? I kind of feel guilty for going to work being a little sick, but not really, because I'm like, I got seasonal retinitis. There are viruses floating to me. I played in the dirt again growing up, and I was exposed to termites and all that stuff. But then there'll be a person over here that want to debate. It's just annoying to see. Like I said, manhood is a concept to me. It's annoying to see how these men be controlling these women. Like, nah, me and her got a connection because we do have an intellectual identity. There's a boy named Brent that's dead. It'd be women that be like, well, I've gave all these men babies, and it's up to them if they want to change their life and have good character or not. I analyze things too. It does not make sense to me that one person would be that a person I'm seeing being emasculated by a female personality. I ain't just saying that shit. I don't like the fact that some of these women that I grew up around change their personalities for me. They really want to prove that a man is a detox for them. But then again, it is a lot of psychopathic people out here, and don't underestimate the power of people from the suburbs. I got people that I grew up in Atlanta with that view me as a suburban kid when I clearly grew up in the same section you grew up in and told you that the vibe was different. I can tell that there are places you can go. Because I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but when you go to Powder Springs and stuff, I'm like, it's a detox. I'm like, nigga, I grew up in Atlanta just like you. Some people grow up and they really have, like I said, most of the men are not taught to be pessimists. They really like, man, I really was this hood nigga, and people were submitting to me and respecting me. And I'm like, when I'm in Powder Springs, the vibe is different. And I realized that when somebody got on a CCT bus and passed the goddamn blunt around, I realized how fucked up Atlanta was when they did that shit. It was humiliating. I'm like, y'all really are stuck in a paradigm of stupidity. And I guess those people that are more upscale, that aren't pessimists, that seem to be well groomed and well articulate, those are the type of people that they use. That's the reason why I guess I see men get cheated on. Because it is, you know what I'm saying? I realized that I need to stop putting shit on the pedestal. Just like them people from Louisiana, shit, I wrote all them damn songs and I went out to the Mississippi, and you can look at a video and swear up and down it'd be a good, I mean, it's a ferry out there. There's a couple of things you can do out there, but I'm like, in reality, some of these people, I'm like, I just got a negative connotation on my mind about certain people. And I'm like, they really are built a certain way. And I'm like, I don't understand why the fuck I'm getting treated like this. That's why I view myself as a man. Because I'm like, in reality, you know what I'm saying? I'm growing up and I'm like, all these women claim to be tomboys and shit. But I'm like, y'all sitting here getting treated like shit all because they want to play innocent. Well, I'm a man. I ain't expect to emasculate you. See, I reject my female identity because if I was a man, I wouldn't take offense to certain people and their personalities and all that shit. A lot of these women sound like men to me. That's why I be so agitated. And I'm like, I feel like I got emasculated by men too. And I really have sympathy for them. But some of these men be like, nah, I don't see you as a masculine woman, or I don't see you got bitched by manhood. We don't respect you. It doesn't make sense. The point of tough love, like I said in my previous video, is that there will be people, you will go through the storm and there will be people that will never sympathize with you. So you call on the creator. I guess that's why I don't waste people's time. I don't go to church to sit around and talk about people. And I guess that's the reason for a congregation, so we can see that some people got mental issues because of negative energy. That's all it be. I see tension being created between me and other men, me and men, and it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, but you a man. Why the fuck is you sitting here gossiping about a female? I thought that is something that you ain't supposed to be worried about. I didn't think that when it comes to the union between woman and man, I don't understand why is this woman respecting the man. That's what I'm saying. The paradigm of being from the ghetto. This is why I started shooting at people and stuff, because it was demographic that I came from. We were not respectable people living in the ghetto. If you're a woman, you were going to be in love with a man that was a Christian man, and you was going to grow up and everybody was going to view y'all as some type of power couple. It's heteronormity. It's annoying. I'm like, I am an intellect. If I was a man, I would not be going through half the shit that I'm going through. I would have to be polygamous because I would have been a good-hearted Christian nigga going around reading books all day and trying to show good character, but have to flash out on people every now and then. What do you do when your hands are tied and you got people disrespecting your ass? I thought my nigga would defend me. I got a girl right now that views me as a scorned woman, and she used to sit there and instigate the situation. That's what these women do. You're being emasculated by toxic masculinity. Let me cross my legs and show my nigga that I'm a lady. If you've been in jail, you are not a lady. I don't give a fuck how feminine you act. None of that shit. That shit is not ladylike. I don't give a fuck if you see you trying to prove your street credentials and say that I'm a stern woman and I got pulled over for a traffic stop. Jail is not a place for respectable women. That's why I say I need to stop putting these people on the pedestal, because in essence, that's exactly all of us ended up in jail. I don't give a fuck how much notoriety you got. That is not a good look. So let me stop putting these men on the pedestal just because of, women, of womanhood. Because in reality, they were fucking in jail, which means that they committed a crime and somebody was locking them up, or they got locked up on their own because they felt like they wanted to be, stay away from the bullshit. It's a lot of manipulation out here. Motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? I just feel used for my womanhood. That's all I'm saying. When I leave this earth, it's going to be women, people that bring my name up in conversation, and I will never understand why. I didn't even expect some of these niggas to interact with me. But that's how it worked. We couldn't promote the idea of a male ego or a song of a nigga bragging about bitches if those experiences didn't happen. So I can't even regret them. I'm just agitated by it. That's all. I know I done wrote a lot of rap music promoting the idea of a male ego. So I know. I just get mad because some people really do, men do really have a natural state, actual men, and they really can do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pretend to do it. I don't want to pretend to be a man, none of that shit. But that's what I have to do for a reverse psychological detox. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people really be going through shit. So don't be fooled by all this good music and shit. People really be going through shit. A lot of it really come out of a lot of pain. That's why I be hearing niggas say, man, I give my heart and soul at them shows. That's the best you can do. So for all these bitches out here with dyke mentalities getting judged because you got masculine energy and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? I have so much sympathy to give, because at the end of the day, if I will always wonder, it's not about being with a man or a woman. I will always wonder what life would have been like if I never would have been through anything, experienced any offenses, being offended by something. I mean, are there people that are really there are people that seemingly are going to live in the hood for the rest of their life and have to go around and rob people because people are being judgmental? Well, I grew up this, that, and third. I grew up drinking. My piss smells strong, and people think I'm ghetto, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man, because I don't want to base. I've got a lot to learn. I don't want to base my life off the fact that I'm jealous of manhood. I really want to snap out of it. Just based off seeing some men being put on pedestals and it seems like their life is easy, but in reality, I don't respect them about that polygamy shit, and it don't make no sense to me. I mean, you got to have money to be polygamous. You know, because if one bitch get wrong and you send one bitch ass, that's how it works, right? You want to control people. I don't know, man. Just be careful, man, because you know what I'm saying. You listen to these Money, Power, Respect. I'm like, when you get money, can you really control people? No, you can't control people. You know what I'm saying? There are people that really got advantages. That's why I be getting mad. I'm like, man, this motherfucker can pull somebody. They really want to go based off level of attraction, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can't be a man. I can't attract a woman, and then pay somebody to do somebody this. Put your pride to the side. That's what I gotta do. I'm like, cause in actuality, that's what I really want to do. I really want to just pay bitches to fight each other as a reverse psychological detox. And I'm done.